back to our video series on how to prepare and tag your items for our consignment sale. I'm Dana with Hearts Kids Consignment, and in this video we are going to talk about all of the miscellaneous items, or at least give some examples of a few miscellaneous items and how to prepare and tag those. So we are going to start with something like socks, or really anything that you have multiples of but you want to sell them in a set. So the easiest way generally to do that is to use a plastic zip bag that you can see through, of course, a clear zip bag. So I have here 7 pairs of my son's socks that he can no longer wear, and they are all the same size. That's one thing that you don't want to do when you're matching things, is to mix sizes. You want to make sure that things that you put together are always the same size and the same brand if you can. Socks, things like socks, you can mix and match as long as they are the same size, but you also want to put that on your tag as well. So the way I like to prepare my socks, instead of turning them down like this so that you can't see most of the sock, I actually like to take my socks apart and then to tuck one inside of the other. So I just take my hand and push the toe to toe so that the socks look like this. And that just helps people see the condition of whatever is inside the bag. And that way, if they're rolled down, they can't see, you know, if there's dirt on the sock or what have you. So that's what I've done with all of these. And then from here, I just take them and lay them inside the baggie sideways. And that way that they are all displayed nicely and neatly. And again, you can actually see what's in the bag and know exactly what you're buying without having to second guess. So once I get all of those in there, kind of looks something like that, so I can see all 7 pairs of socks. Then from here you would fill out your tag, so whatever price you're going to put your tag, put as your tag, and then you're going to write on here that this is 7 pairs of boy socks. You're going to put the size up here in the top right hand corner of the tag, and then I'm going to slide the tag inside. And then just like we did in previous videos, I'm going to push the air out of there and then zip my bag closed, and then we are going to tape it with a big piece of packing tape. I just come across the edge of the bag there and then flip it over and attach each edge. And now that whole bag there is one whole set of socks. Again, this can be done with many types of different items. Toys, as we covered in a previous video. I've got hair bows here. You can put hair bows all together. I've got hair bands. You can do that. You can do boys' underwear as well, which I've actually got a few of those here that I'm going to show you an example of as well. So anything that you want to go together, bottles, pacifiers, teething toys or teething items, bibs, burp cloths, any of that type of random miscellaneous stuff can go in bags sealed down with tape like this. We're going to do the underwear next, just to give you kind of an idea of that. With underwear, you want to always make sure that they are clean, completely clean. It is perfectly fine to sell used underwear, but only if they are clean. So usually for these, I'll just kind of fold them enough so you can see kind of what's going on with those. And all of these are the same size and brand. These are ones that my son can no longer wear. So we've got 3 different pair here, and of course you can choose whatever size bag works the best for you. Gallon is always a good size to go with because there's so much space. And then I'll just take these and lay them nicely inside. So you can see this first 2, whether you flip it over each way, you can see both pair, and then I'm gonna lay this pair a little more on top of them like that. So you can, again, if you flip it over, can see all 3 pair. So again, I'm gonna push the air out of my bag. We're going to seal it And then we are going to tape this flap closed. And sometimes the flap doesn't want to stay up, and that's okay. We just make it do what we need it to do. And we're going to flip that over. And of course the tape doesn't want to do sometimes what it's supposed to do either. And if I have that issue like on this one where my tape's stuck together, I'll just take another piece and just go right back over top of that just to make sure that that seals down like it's supposed to. And of course, in here, you would, of course we have forgotten at this point to put our tag in here. So another tip that I showed in another video is if that happens and you've already got it sealed down, the easiest way to fix that and still make sure your tag is secure is to cut you just a little hole, just a small slit right here in your baggie. And then you can take your tag after you've written your information and slide it in there, and then use another piece of tape and seal down that place that you've cut. And generally you can't tell the difference because of the clear tape and everything. So you can do, again, you can do anything like that that comes in sets. Underwear, socks, accessories, sunglasses, hair bows, jewelry, bottles, pacifiers, any of that type of stuff. You could put books together, multiple books together in a bag, anything that you want to sell together as a set. So a couple other items, just random miscellaneous items we've got here. I've got a hat, and the way I've done this hat, I've already tagged it. I actually ran the zip tie through the hole of the hat and just around the bottom of the hat here and attached my tag that way. So anytime you can attach with a zip tie, that is the best thing to do instead of a pin. Always attach with a zip tie if you can, and if you can't, then you can pin it, of course. Or you could even put this whole item in a bag with a tag, but a lot of times if you can do it differently, that'll save you a bag. And then for things like feeding items, plates, bottles, sippy cups, water bottles, things like that, all you have to do for these is just take your tag, and then we're going to tape it to the bottle. So I'm going to get my piece of tape, I'm going to stick it to my tag, and then I'm going to put it right around the bottle itself. So that way you're just any item that you're not worried about the packing tape hurting the item, then you can just tape your tag straight to that item. You can do this with toys, anything where the packing tape is not going to rip it and damage the item. So bottles are great for that too, sippy cups, things like that. We also have a bag here because we do sell bags and purses and diaper bags and lunch boxes and all of that stuff. The best way to tag items like that is to attach it somewhere to the zipper, because generally the zipper pulls are pretty strong and they're not going to go anywhere. If for some reason there's not zippers and there's a button or something like that, you can attach it to anywhere where the tag will attach and not come off. I would not attach it through somewhere where the button or snap easily or the magnetic closure comes off easily. So for this one, I've already got a tag here that I have put my tape around to secure my tag, and then I've already punched my hole in it, and then I'm going to use a zip tie here, whatever size you would like. I'm going to run my zip tie through my tag, and then I'm going to run it through the loop here of the zipper and just cinch that zip tie down. And then that way everything's together, and even if they unzip it to look in the bag or whatever, the tag still stays there. So that's an example of how to do purses and bags. Let's say that you have a few things that are new items, brand new, you never used them. So I have a couple of those here as well. For this particular one, this is a baby blanket that was never used. It's brand new, still with the tag. So the easiest way I find generally to tag these is to just staple your tag to the tag of the item. So that's what I have done here. You can see there's just a few staples, and that tag is going to stay secure on there and it will not come off. You just want to make sure that your staples do close so that they won't prick anyone when they're looking at your item. but that's the simplest way for that. And then this is a swaddle blanket, and this one's brand new, still in the box. So for this one, just like we taped to the bottle, I'm gonna tape it straight to the box. So I'm gonna choose whatever tag I want. I might write something like new swaddle blanket on it for its description. And then I'm gonna take my tape and I'm gonna tape it straight to the box itself. If it's something that's, you know, again, expensive, or you don't want to affect the packaging, you can use your blue tape if you would prefer. But I generally use my packing tape on things like this. And then even with this, because this does not come sealed from the factory, if you wanted to seal it so it could not be opened, you could do that with packing tape as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this video on different miscellaneous items. There are so many things that we carry at the sale that it's hard to go over everything, but I think through all of our video series, you'll be able to find ways to tag almost any item that you would want to put in the sale. You can either zip tie your tags, pin your tags, or put them in baggies with the tag sealed, or you can tape your tags to the item. So whichever way you feel is the best. Thank you for watching this video, and we will have another video following with just a few more tips and tricks, reminders from the last few videos, and we are going to go over how to fill out your description on your tags. Bye.